Hey there, it's Taylor. I'm one of the co-foundresses of Inner Bloom Sisterhood, our private online community to nourish and grow your inner bloom. And I happen to be obsessed with astrology. And I think that is a super potent way of getting in touch with our own soul wisdom and the wisdom of Mother Nature and Father Sky. So today I'd just like to go over quickly how you can see in your own birth chart what is going to be illuminated as we illuminate the Aries-Libra axis. So of course it's called the full moon in Libra because the moon will be in the sky in the sign of Libra. However, that's not the full story. So I want to show you what an axis means in astrology, and as this is illuminated by the full moon, what does it mean for your life and what areas are going to come into play. So let me just go over in the corner. I will be over here, hello. And center stage, we will have my birth chart. We get to get an inner glimpse of what's going on for me in my life. And it is very, very on point, as astrology always is. So if you're following along with this video and you want to know where the Aries and Libra axis illuminates in your life using your birth chart, all you're going to do is go to astro.com/horoscopes. Okay, so pause this video and type that in. You're going to go to extended chart selection right here. Let me just walk you through. You are going to put in your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location, and your name is going to be up here. I do a lot of people's birth charts. That's why I got a lot of people's names. And then you're going to go down to here, skip the partner line if it's showing up for you. You're not looking at you versus your partner's birth chart right now. We're focusing on you. And the chart type should say natal chart wheel, and then go down to the style. I'm sorry, you want to click on that, and instead of natal chart wheel, you're going to scroll down to where it says natal chart and transits, and it's starred because we want those transits on there. For the date of the transit, April 8th, because that is technically when the full moon is happening, and then you're going to click here to show the chart. And what you're going to get is a chart of your birth chart, and then on the outside there's this blue circle of where all of the planetary alignments are happening right now. It's so exciting. So for this full moon in particular, if you just type in April 8th, it'll give you a roundabout of where the moon is in Libra compared to your chart. And I want to do this right now for you on your own time, because although we are having the full moon virtual gathering in Inner Bloom Sisterhood, and I'll just say a little ditty about that right now, we are going to be gathering as a sisterhood. And if you're not in the sisterhood, you can still come to the ceremony for free. Everyone's first ceremony is free. And I hope you join us. But what we're going to be doing in that ceremony is working with the energies of the moon and not talking about the astrological aspects, because this is a very mental process that I'm going to take you through. And yes, intellect is a great doorway in order to understand and download these meanings and reflections into our bodies. The ceremonies are more centered around an experience. Okay, an experience for your soul and your body. And so I will be leading a releasing ceremony based on a lot of the things that we're going to talk about in this video. Releasing judgments of other people, releasing your own self-sabotage, releasing your own blocks to self-worth, releasing your own blocks that are hidden deep down in there to unconditional love for all beings. And that's going to be very potent. Madison is going to be leading us in a ego eradicating Kundalini Kriya, which is a way that we are moving our bodies in order to eradicate the ego, which is in charge of a lot of these subconscious fear programs staying in tune in your daily life. The subconscious fear program that lives underneath the heart and is trapped in there from a lot of trauma and a lot of notions and beliefs that we acquired as a child because we didn't have a full understanding of multiple perspectives and how things work. We have that all trapped down in there. Every time one of those beliefs comes up, the ego is there as the drill sergeant saying, yes, that is true. This must be true. for our lives, and everything in the universe is going to act accordingly, including our own behavior. So if we eradicate the ego, we do not eradicate any of those subconscious fear programs. However, we take the drill sergeant out of the line of fire, okay? And we can work with those very tender subconscious belief programs. So I'm excited for this ceremony, and Hannah's going to be leading us in a blessing that she has designed specifically for us, and I'm so excited. So we're going to lead you into a space, okay? And right now I want to solely focus on you finding the illuminated axis of Aries and Libra in your birth chart. Does that make sense? That's why I'm doing this video. So again, please click the link in the description of this video so that you can hop on that call and be with us for that experience. But for now, let's do the work, the mental process that I'm talking about. So what you're going to do is quite simple. You are going to look at your birth chart and not need to know everything that's on there and not need to know how to read birth charts. It's okay. I'm going to walk you through it. What you're going to do is you're going to find the sun in that outer blue circle. That is where the sun is right now, or on April 8th. And it's going to be in the sign of Aries. So you're going to see the ram symbol here and the sun. So I want you to go into the center of that slice of pizza or slice of pie, as I like to call it, and note that there's a number. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Mine is number 1. Okay, so I want you to get a pen out and write that. Okay, number 1. I have my sun in Aries is in the first house. Okay, now I'm going to look for the moon. This is a full moon on April 8th. It's going to be in the sign of Libra. So you have the Libra icon here. And then you're going to go to do the same thing. Go to the center and you have a number there, -7. Okay, so I have house number 7. I have the 1st and 7th house. And then I want you to draw a line connecting those numbers, okay? That is your Aries-Libra axis. The reason why we don't just look on a full moon, only on a full moon, the reason why we don't just look at Libra, where the moon is, and be like, okay, it's affecting my 7th house of relationships, and I have Jupiter hanging out here, whatever planet you might have there, maybe it's the sun, maybe it's Mercury, maybe it's Mars, maybe it's Venus, whatever it is, it's not just that, okay? Because the moon is directly opposite of the sun. That's how it becomes full. That's how it becomes illuminated, okay? So we have these two energies pulling on each other, and that is what is going to make the situation in the middle come to life. It's going to present itself to you. That's why full moons are very confronting, okay? It's a little bit different than a new moon where you're like, ooh, new moon, new goals, new me, let's do this. Full moon is very much like, what do we have to heal? And if you've been hiding it, we're going to illuminate it for you. So I'm going to go through a couple of the options that you might have. You might have house 1 and 7. You might have house 2 and 8. They're going to be opposite each other. If they're not, I'm sorry, you have looked at the wrong number. It has to be directly opposite. So if you have 3 and 9, that's good. If you have 4 and 10, 5 and 11, or 6 and 12. Okay, there are no other options besides those. So I'm going to give you some options of what you can ask yourself in these axes that may help you break down more of your inner blocks to unconditional love and harmony. Libra is all about harmony and balance. It's about the justice of the situation. It's about both sides feeling equal and feeling in balance and harmonized together. The way that we do this with the outside world and our relationships is through uncovering and disrupting all of those walls and blocks that we have to our own harmony within us. Does that make sense? So we cannot do this. We cannot fully encapsulate the healing medicine of this full moon unless we are willing to go within in order to bring harmony throughout our external lives. And it'll show up in so many different ways. So I want to go over each house and how it might be showing up. So if you have the 1st and 7th house axis illuminated, I want you to think about the way that you are harmonizing within yourself and the way that you are harmonizing in your relationships. Since these energies will be tugging on each other, you can reflect on what judgments am I willing to let go of inside myself that are actually hurting those outside myself. Okay? What judgments am I willing to let go of and totally eradicate within myself that have actually been hurting everyone outside of myself and my relationships, okay? If you are illuminating the axis of house 2 and house 8, that is financial and material wealth, and then the 8th house is in charge of the 8th house is like so foggy. It's brilliant and foggy. The 8th house here, what I want to tune into, because there's many things, is the below the surface level undercurrent, underbelly feelings of what's going on. So here we have very material world, and in the 8th we have the ethereal world, if you will. So the question would be, if you have the moon in the 8th house, or the sun in the 2nd house, or the sun in the moon in the 2nd house, or the sun in the 8th house. It doesn't matter which side you are on. The question is going to be, what have I been covering up inside of myself with the material world? And that is with the intention of letting go. So this is a better question. What material habits and numbing patterns am I willing to let go of in order to feel the realness that's going on underneath the surface level? Okay? Now, 3rd and 9th, we have the 3rd house of communication and telling your own story and intellect. And then we have the 9th house of higher education, higher spirituality, and foreign living. So the question I'm going to give you for this to reflect on in your own life is, how am I, or what am I willing to let go of that is currently disturbing and blocking my freedom to tell my own story and live my full potential? What am I willing to let go of that is currently blocking my freedom and my ability to tell my own story and live that story out loud without shame? Okay? Because as with all of these questions, you doing this within yourself is causing strife in all of your relationships. And that includes how you relate to the outside world. And during this time where we all need to come together and respect each other's feelings and know that they're all valid, if you are not living your story out loud and not allowing yourself to have internal freedom right now, you are doing a disservice to society and to us as a human race, because you're projecting that onto other people. You are. I'm sorry. This is just news, astrology news 101. Okay, so then we have the 4th and 10th house. Okay, the 4th house of private life and the 10th house of public life. What things are you not willing to allow within your private life that are blocking you from having the public life that you want? Okay, so many of us are focused on how we are going to get our gifts out into the world. How are we going to have a job? How are we going to have income? Those are all 10th house things. But the 4th house must be illuminated. Our private, most nurtured self, our inner child, if you will, must be nurtured. And so again, with the theme of harmony, what are you not allowing, or what are you blocking in your private life harmony that is, for a fact, causing incongruence in the harmony of your public life? So that can be job, that can be business, that can be your public image, okay? It comes back to the private life that is happening, the internal world, of course. Hello, this is Inner Bloom. Where do you think you are? Okay, 2 more to go, guys. If you have the 5th and the 11th house axis illuminated, I want you to think about the heart versus the mind. So we have the 5th house of expressing and that courageous heart, big, loving, playful energy. And then we have the 11th house of mental planning, seeing into the future, making calculated decisions, analyzing. Okay, so I want you to think about, where is my mind out of balance and not allowing harmony? It's cutting off the power and the intelligence of my heart space. Okay? So if you are overanalyzing, overthinking, thinking about the future, that's the 11th house. What blocks or what habits are blocking you from dropping into your heart space and dropping into the present? Are you willing to let go of those? Because again, if you are denying yourself the intuition and the present moment and the intelligence of your heart space and of now, you are denying that of others. You are. Again, I'm just going to say it. It's a fact. Look around, reflect, be honest with yourself. Lastly, we have the 6th house of routines and daily life paired up with the ethereal and dreamy and not bound by routine house of the 12th house. So if this axis is illuminated for you, I want you to ask yourself, where am I not in harmony in my daily routines? Where am I not in congruence with what my soul and spirit wants of me right now? Okay? And am I willing, again, full moon, am I willing to let that shit go? Let it go. Cut it out. Okay? So those are your reflection questions for this Aries-Libra axis full moon. I hope that clears it up as to why we work with axes when we work with full moons, because it is the tension of the two energies pulling at each other. Now, please, please, please consider taking the time out of your day tomorrow, or if you're watching this, maybe it's your today, Tuesday, April 7th, and it's at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Whatever time zone that is for you, work it out. Use World Time Buddy. That's a great option for converting time zones. And I hope to see you there, because we are going to heal and just confront a lot of the things that are holding us back at this time. And it's always a beautiful, sacred space that we hold. And I'm so excited if there are some new faces involved. We have so much love for you and your community and your friends. And so if you want to invite anyone along, just forward this video and you guys can join. I will put the link in the description for you to have your free trial. You just sign up for a free trial for the Sisterhood, and you will see the event as the first thing that you see, because it's a featured post in our app. Okay? Thank you so much for doing the internal work. This is the work of our chaotic, uncertain time right now.